I'm glad that you brought up the idea of curiosity, which was not like, that wasn't even like a finely chosen word when I used it, but I do think you are right that if there's a unifying element to all that, you have to be curious if you're going to be, I suppose, any creative person, but particularly a writer, because you have to be, no matter what kind of writing you're doing, you have to be curious about your subject matter, you have to be curious about your style, you have to be curious about the tradition that you are attempting to exist in, and like what brought me out here was just literally listening to Patsy Cline at one point and going like, where did this sound come from? Like, this doesn't sound like George Jones, and this doesn't sound like Shania Twain or even Loretta Lynn, or just like this doesn't sound like your typical, so like how did that, I remember literally like Wikipediaing her 14 years ago and being like, she's from Winchester? Like, she's not from like the deep south or anything like that, like she's right over there. And if I hadn't had that just initial like, I wonder what this is, I literally would not be here, because the only reason I got to know this place was from that. And and then going up and learning about the town and seeing, oh wow, there's all this like social and historical stuff, is what led me to Warren's books, which are, many of them are about the sort of the earliest European settlement of the Shenandoah. And yeah, gotta say, that was not what I expected to come out of the question, like, where did Patsy Cline come from, would be to learn about the, crossing over the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Spotswood Gang and that kind of stuff. I just never would have thought that that's where it would have led me, but that's honestly the most fun part of it. So be curious.